This video is brought to you by Jab.se, the lead supplier of MMA gear in Scandinavia. BetSafe.com, Europe's only online betting site for MMA.
I was reminded of St. Pierre, what he did to BJ Penn, and I knew I was up against a strong guy, so really it was just trying to drain him down and just wait. And although I got caught at the end of the first round, I think really the knockout came because of what I did in the beginning of the first round.
You gestured at the end of the first round to your opponent and to the crowd. What was going through your head when you got through that first round assault?
I just had a thing in my head to say, look, I'm not out. If you think you just put me down and nearly finish me, you've got another thing coming. I'm blessed with a very good heart and a good chin, and I just think I'll fight to the end. And it was a close one, and I managed to, really that was a mental victory. I think a lot of fighters would have given up and crumbled and experience and just won me that fight.
A certain middleweight in the Ultimate Fighter House at the moment, Luke Barnett, speaking to him in the week, he said you were going to win, he said it was going to be fight of the night, and he said you'd gassed him out. Do you think you owe him a drink?
Well, no, I trained with Luke before, we know each other pretty well, and he's a very talented fighter, up and coming, and I just think a lot of guys know me from the scene, and maybe a lot of the UFC and the journalists involved in the UFC haven't seen. I mean, this is my 7th fight at Wembley Arena, so...
You found a lot of success in the clinch, especially with knees and elbows. Have you been working on that specifically?
Actually, no, I haven't. I worked a lot of wrestling for this fight, a lot of jiu-jitsu. But, trained at Kettles for a long time. Obviously been to Holland and worked at Mike's gym before. And the clinch is what I've always done well in Thai boxing. I'm quite tall and I like those knees. And it just happened that was the fight tonight, the way it played out.
How hurt were you at the end of the first round? It seemed like he had you pretty shaken.
I mean, I wasn't actually that hurt, to be honest, but I did take some big shots and you are kind of moving, but more so I was on the bottom thinking, don't stop the fight, unless I move and get up and move a little bit, there's justification for the referee to stop it, so that was all I was really thinking about.
You had a bit of a pop at TRT at the end there, is this kind of a personal thing? Have you had this for quite a while, got an issue with, TRT users in the sport? Well, no, I see it a lot recently. I mean, I just think nothing seems to be done about it. I mean, no one wants to come out and speak about it. Obviously, the UFC are doing drug testing, and Dana spoke about it really. But we've seen Lance Armstrong and the cycling epidemic, and all worldwide sports right now. And I'm at the top level here, and I'm going in against guys. They look like they're on another planet. It's no coincidence. I mean, I made an example of to another journalist of looking at Alistair Overeem, and everybody said, "Oh, he didn't take the drugs, he lost." I mean, come on, you're telling me he didn't take anything? Everybody knows. People know who the guys are. Someone's just asked me, was I having a go at Vitor? I wasn't having a go at Vitor, but why does he get to take testosterone? I'm training 3 times a day. I'm exhausted to death. I don't get to stick anything in my body. So, everybody goes to work. All of you lot go to work. You wake up. Do you take testosterone to go to work? You don't. So, something needs to be done, and that's why I raised it.
Tom, London Cage Fighters. Has your training changed now you're in your 30s? You're going to be 31 this year, aren't you?
Really, my training changed a little bit after I had 3 surgeries. I had 2 elbow operations and a back operation, and I say it's changed, but I'm still crazy. I still train too much. Good friends with Brian Stan, and we both joke at each other that everybody comes in, does 1 session or 2 sessions. We're in there 3-4 times a day.
And how much of your training is actually in the UK now?
I do a little bit here. I mean, I'll be here for 2 weeks now. I'll be at Kettles gym a lot. Work with Jude Samuel in London. But I do predominantly most of my training in the States, obviously at Jackson's, and recently for this fight I trained a lot with Mark Munoz and the guys out in California. So.
Okay, so how are you feeling? How are you feeling after the fight?
Well, I feel good. It's a strange experience to be in there and then be on the floor and then be there, having knocked someone out and put on a great fight. I think last time I thought I put fight of the night on. This time I think I put it on, but there's a lot of fights to go and I'm just I just hope that someone gives me a bonus for something.
You spoke a lot about TRT there in your first fight. Do you think that fighters cycling with regular steroids in their training camps is a big problem in the UFC? Would you be in favour of the VADA testing being brought into the UFC, random drug tests any time as opposed to just fight night?
Yeah, and I know everybody talks about how expensive it is, but listen, this is it's an industry that makes a lot of money, and look, as fighters, we pay our own medicals, we pay our blood work and our brain scans. Why isn't there maybe a fee that comes out that goes towards a drug test in a year? I mean, I do a drug test every day. I mean, the only people that say they won't is in my opinion, people who've got something to hide. So.
You've always been a fan-friendly fighter, and today, that arena, I don't think I've heard it's like in the UFC for many fights, let alone. How important was that crowd? Did you hear them? Did it help at all? Did you hear them?
Yeah, I mean, I pumped him up before the fight, and the weigh-in yesterday, you know, Cub Swanson said to me after as well, I think you had the loudest cheer, you know, in your third fight. But like I said, I fought in this arena. That was my 7th fight at Wembley, and I've been fighting a long time in the UK and for these fans. So I think a lot of the fans here have supported me. They've been on the journey and they've seen, you know, where I've been, and I just think it's good to repay them with a good victory.
12,000 cornermen yelling needs.
Yeah.
It's amazing performance.
All right, thank you.
You spoke about the challenging middleweights on TRT. Are any ones in particular that you'd like to challenge?
No, I mean, you know, it's difficult for me to say because I think really half of my division's probably on something. So whatever, you know, it's whatever the UFC wanted to do. You know, I didn't choose Brad Tavares. I didn't choose Nedkov. And I'm not going to choose my next opponent. So Joe Silva, you know, gets paid very well. And look, he matched up the Nedkov fight and look what happened. So, you know, I'll leave it in his hands. And I'm the type of fighter that, you know, I don't fear anybody, and I'll take a fight, and that's where I learn about myself. So,
thank you much. Congratulations.
It seems like you're overwhelming. You're obviously happy to win, but you said as well that you were mainly happy that it was, you know, you put on a good performance. It was a good fight for the fans. You know, you weren't too bothered about win or loss. Is your overriding feeling out of this more a sense of relief than happiness?
I mean, everybody's going to go on what I'm saying now, but you know, I said this in my last fight. Everybody said, "Oh, it was a disappointing fight against Tavares and that," and I actually thought it was quite a good fight. You know, I went out there with the idea of pushing the pace and lost the fight with takedowns, really. But it's just a hard road. You know, I didn't grow up. I didn't do any fighting until I was 18, 19 years old, and you just keep trying to improve. And really, all I do is I set out to get better every fight and work on different things. And as I spoke about earlier, I didn't do any clinch for this fight, but you know, obviously I've done it years ago and it paid off tonight. So right after this fight, I'll be back in the gym this week and just working hard until I get another fight. So.
Sorry, Tom, one quick question. How important are fight of the night, sub of the night, knockout of the night bonuses for UK-based fighters where sponsorship mightn't be such a great thing? They're already going in at a little bit of a disadvantage. No great wrestling culture over here. It promotes exciting fights, but how important is it for the UK fighters?
I think it's all fighters. You know, I think it's all fighters. I mean, the thing I'll say with the UFC now is the sponsorship. I think has changed a little bit. And unless you're on the main card, it's very hard to get sponsors. You know, I was on Facebook tonight and I lost 3 sponsors because of that. So, you know, these bonuses are important, and I spend all of my money training. You know, and you know, if I stop tomorrow, I'm going to 9 to 5 job like anyone else. So these bonuses really just help me train and really pay my coaches to keep improving.
Programmet presenteras av betsafe.com.